Hey there, welcome back to another Bright Ideas Daily Nugget. I am Trent Dyrsmid, and this is the daily video series where I answer your questions about how to grow your e-commerce business, as well as to give you a look behind the curtain and over my shoulder as my team and I grow our business towards our goal of $10 million a year. In today's video, we're going to talk about something I learned how to do earlier today and already put into place, and it worked. And that is how to create a 5-cent like campaign. So back in video episode number 50 of the show, I talked about what I was doing back then to create a Facebook like campaign to build an audience on your page. Now, one thing I want to be absolutely clear of, having likes just for the sake of having likes is a total waste of money. You have to have a strategy on what you're going to do with those likes, which I've covered in some of the other videos prior to this one, because the organic reach of your Facebook fan page will be very, 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 very low. So you need to keep that in mind as you watch this. So with that said, obviously the importance of driving down your cost per like is incredibly important. Prior to learning what I learned today, I was not able to get my cost per like any lower than 11 cents. And it very quickly started to go up to 20 and 30 cents per like, which is insanely expensive. And as we record this right now, my campaign is, I'm paying 4 cents per like. So what did I do that was different? Before I describe what I did, I want to say why I did. Part of my strategy is to get my Facebook fan page to grow quickly and to get to 10,000 as quickly as possible, because I want the credibility that comes from having an audience of that size when I reach out to prospective supplier partners and talk to them about putting their products in front of my audience. Obviously, if my audience is 500 people, that does not hold the same weight as if I say, well, my audience is 10,000 or 15,000, or, it was 5,000 last week, it's 10,000 this week, and we're going to be at 30,000 in no short amount of time, or in a short amount of time. Therefore, you should pay attention to me and to this phone call. So that's why I want to get to the audience to that big number of 10,000, or big-ish number of 10,000 as quickly as I can. Then there's all sorts of other things that are going to be done with it, which are beyond the scope of today's video. So now let's get into how I've managed to cut the cost of my likes down to just a mere fraction of what they were up until about 2 hours ago. So what I did was, instead of targeting just the United States, so when I originally created my campaigns, I targeted just the United States. I targeted just men between the ages of 35 and 54. And then I would pick one interest, like they like Road and Track magazine, or they like NASCAR or whatever. And I talked about the importance of having a relatively small audience for running these campaigns in the beginning, which worked quite well for a couple of weeks. And then I started to see the cost of my likes go up, and possibly that was from ad fatigue, because if my audience is relatively small, say 500,000 people, and they're starting to see the same ad over again and they're not engaging with the ads, that's going to drive up the cost of those ads. So instead, what I decided to do for this first phase, and this was thanks to one of my suppliers, the one I talked about in my last video, who figured this out and pointed it out to me. He does, when he's creating his ad set, by default it'll say United States. Replace that and type in worldwide, set your language to English, and set your targeting to mobile-only devices. And then run your ads. No interests targeted whatsoever. So now, instead of an audience of 500,000, I've got an audience of 70 million. Also, probably the biggest reason why the cost per like has gone down is because of the fact that I'm able to get likes outside of the United States. So are these as good of likes as they are within the United States? In my niche, I don't really know yet for sure. Maybe they will be, maybe they won't be. But they're sure a whole lot less expensive to get. So go with that strategy to get yourself to the 10,000 likes as quickly as you can, so that when you are going and you're doing your outreach to prospective suppliers, companies that you might want to form a joint partnership with to offer their products to your audience, you can point at that audience and say, look how fast it's growing and look how big it is. And by the way, I should actually also say that by the very nature, even though I didn't pick an interest in the targeting section of the ad set, my ad is a self-selecting ad in that it says, click like if you love high performance cars. So obviously Facebook's going to find a way to put my ad in front of people who like high performance cars. And what appealed to me about this approach was, rather than say, well, I only want to show my ad to people who like Road and Track Magazine or NASCAR, I want to show my ad to everybody so that I can then look at the data, look at the breakdown data, which I'll do in a couple of days' time, to see where are all these people hanging out and what kind of interests do they have outside of motorsports, and kind of what ages are they and what delivery method. And I thought it was a good idea to test casting a wider net. And so far, on a cost per like basis, it has been a smashingly good idea, and I would encourage you to try the same. If you'd like to submit a question for me to answer in a future video, just go to Brightideas.co/asktrent. If you are not yet a member of the Bright Ideas tribe and you would like to receive notifications of the podcasts that I publish, which are interviews with other e-commerce entrepreneurs, as well as notifications for when Daily Nugget videos come out, go ahead and become a subscriber at Brightideas.co. And when you do, you'll also get invitations to join our Facebook groups. And if you're watching this in one of those Facebook groups, give it a little love, would you? Click like, click share, make a comment, ask a question. Thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.